Hello and welcome to the Grounds Crew. My name is Alex.
Alex Sr., Bobo.
And I'm Randy.
Today we are going to go over our AL Central predictions for the baseball season. We're going to start off at the bottom, and really the bottom. The Chicago White Sox last season were 41 and 121, making them the worst baseball team of all time. They broke the record for the worst record. They broke the record for the worst record. Now, they did make a few moves in the offseason. They got rid of Dominic Leone, Garrett Crochet to the Red Sox, Mike Soroka, and Yoan Moncada. And they brought in Martin Perez, Austin Slater, Mike Tauchman, Bryce Wilson, Josh Rojas, Michael A. Taylor, Tyler Gilbert, and Matt Thias. Now, this list doesn't include the prospects they got for Garrett Crochet from the Red Sox, because they did get a good amount of prospects for him. The major leaguers that they brought in, minor moves, if you can call it that.
I would. There's one notable name, and that's it. And I only know him because he spent some time in the Yankees, and that's Mike Tauchman. And right. I like him. I think that's
He might be their best player next year.
Could be. I think Luis is going to be,
if he doesn't get traded.
Well, yeah. See, no big first baseman has gotten hurt that I know of so far this spring training. So, and he's a first baseman, right?
He's a center fielder.
I'm sorry, my bad. I thought Luis Robert was at first base. He may have spent a time there, but he's center fielder, so everybody can use an outfielder.
Everyone can use an outfielder.
He could go before the training camp is closed.
Yeah, he really could.
Yeah, the contract is 2 years removed from his All-Star appearance.
Yeah.
And get back to that form. I mean, he was supposed to be the next big thing several years ago. That didn't really pan out all too well. Yeah. But he did have an All-Star run 2 years ago.
Yeah, he did. Was he a home run derby participant? I rang a bell with him being in the home run derby once.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't either.
I do not recall if he was a home run derby participant. But the projected lineup for the White Sox this year is Mike Tauchman, Luis Robert, Andrew Vaughn, Miguel Vargas, Josh Rojas, Leniel Sosa, Joey Gallo, who's a non-roster invitee, Corey Lee, and Colson Montgomery. Their projected rotation is Martin Perez, who they just got, Jonathan Cannon, Davis Martin, Sean Burke, and Bryce Wilson, and bullpen arms that are notable, Mike Clevenger on a non-roster invitee. And just to note, Andrew Benintendi is on the team, but he is hurt.
He's hurt, right? I read that. I know he's there. He's on the active roster.
Yeah, I mean, you are correct too. Luis Robert, home run derby in 2023, hit 28
the year
in the first round.
Right. The year that was his All-Star year too, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, and they got Gavin Sheets is on that team, or no?
Gavin Sheets,
or is he gone? He's one that's gone. He's one of the guys that let him go.
Let's see. Let me go back to it.
Yeah.
I don't see Gavin Sheets anywhere
anymore. I think he's gone. So I tell you right now, in all due respect to they're a major league ball club. The chances of them losing 41 games, their starting rotation doesn't do anything for me.
Winning more than 41 games.
They may repeat it again.
I think they'll finish last again, but can they do better than last year? I think so.
You guys, 40 games. That's like 5 games a month they would have to win to do that again, right? Because it's It's March. It's basically April, May, June, July, August, September. Now that's 7, so they got to do about 7 wins a month. You got to believe that. Something. There's no way they could lose more games than next year. There's no.
That's the way baseball works. There's a reason that the record for worst record ever, they're not going to be the same team next season. I think they will be better, even though their roster doesn't seem like it has improved that. But just for the fact that baseball works that way, like, they're not going to be. I still think they will be the worst team in baseball next year, but I don't think they'll beat their record for worst record.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible to have a 2-year run.
Right.
Because technically it's like saying they're going to win 40 games this year. And last year they got on that roll of losing, and I think they own the record for the losses too, right? Not only the most losses, but the most losses in a row in professional baseball. Was this 30 on something?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really think Venable's still there, correct? They didn't can him, did they? Max Will Venable. I think he's still their manager. I don't know.
Do not believe so.
Did they let him go after 1 year?
Well, I know during the year, whoever was managing was fired. And then...
that's right. Grady Sizemore took over.
So
did Grady get it? That'd be really... I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Will Venable is the manager now.
He's the manager now. So, yeah.
I was just looking at their schedule. They start off. They get a little bit of a handicap to start off with by Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah. So, there's another last place.
But I think, right? They bounce around the division for a bit. Face the Twins, and the Tigers, and the Guardians, which are 3 teams projected to make playoffs again. So,
right.
Actually, I don't even think the Twins made the playoffs last year. But
no, the Twins did not.
They were 82 and 80 last year. They didn't make it. Yep. It's right. It's
that division got a lot better last year with 3 teams making it, especially what Detroit did last year. What a turnaround they had. And,
but you also have to think about it, because I'm not sure about Minnesota, but it's probably true for Minnesota too. These teams get to face the White Sox so much more than everyone else in the league.
That's true.
Yeah, but not as much as they used to. They've kind of squashed
not
down not
as
bit,
much as they used to. But the 2 playoff teams of the Tigers and the Royals, if you take out the White Sox games, they would have been under 500.
Yeah, 4 teams in that division were over 500, and probably I would love to know what. I can tell right here. I should be able to. I don't know if it shows it to me. They did end with a 2-game winning streak last year.
Whoa!
Really, I mean, and they were 5-5 in their last 10 games. But what's kind of crazy is obviously there's not playing a lousy schedule in baseball because it all evens out.
Right.
It's not football where you pay a certain schedule based on the record you had the year before. That ain't going to happen to Chicago. So unless you can't get any better, you can't get any worse than you were last year.
Yeah.
There's got to be no way that they're going to lose 40 games again this year. Lose 120 games this year. I for sure they're going to lose 100 games, and they're probably going to be the worst team in Major League Baseball.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think they're still going to be the worst team, but instead of maybe 41 wins, they win 45. I see a little improvement.
60 wins.
ChatGPT has them at 62 wins.
Yeah,
that's generous. After I would ask, the first question I'd ask ChatGPT would be, who's going to give them 20 more wins? That's what comes to mind first. Right now, when you look at these pitchers that Dylan Cease, where he's gone, you Boston picking up Crochet, right? And Pavetta going to Padres. These are pitchers that have that game, that have those numbers attached to them, the wins. And it's like what is Max Fried going to take away from the Braves that he's going to give to the Yankees? And what are we going to lose with Cole being sayonara? He'll go on down the line. And I just think that there's no way that they could give him 21 games, 22 games. I think they win. I'm going to go in the middle. They win 50 games, and that's it.
Okay.
They don't got another pitcher that's going to do them any. They didn't go flash a pitcher, and like you said, by the time they're down by 25 games at June, he's already going to be on the blocks, Luis. They're going to get what they can for him.
Right.
And basically start from scratch. I don't see any other names that excite me, unfortunately, and that's unfortunate because, that's unfortunate. It's just there's just nothing there because they don't have anything there.
Yeah, I might have been thinking a little bit. How are they going to get that?
How are they going to get it? Yeah, I mean, it's
I don't know. Talking about what game horrendous, but that'll be a big improvement for them. So we'll see. All right, who's next?
Yeah. We got him at the fifth spot, and I say 45 games with the White Sox. So we go bottom bat 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 50. I want to look at this. I want to look at this next year. 50 games. I'll put him in the middle.
Alrighty. So the next team on the list is the Minnesota Twins. Now the Twins lost Anthony DeSclafani, Kyle Farmer, Max Kepler, Carlos Santana, Caleb Thielbar, and Giovanni Moran. And they brought in Harrison Bader, Ty France, and Danny Colomé. Their projected lineup is Matt Wallner, Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, Trevor Larnach, Royce Lewis, Ryan Jeffers, Willie Castro, Ty France, and Brooks Lee. Their starting rotation is projected to be Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober, Simeon Woods Richardson, and Chris Paddock. And a couple of bullpen arms, Johan Duran, Griffin Jacks, and Brock Stewart.
Well, I think that this year Minnesota is going to make the playoffs.
Oh!
I think that they're going to be fighting for that first position, actually. I like them to have a good year this year. With them playing so much in their own division, I see them doing much better. Maybe not much better, but enough better that they could be vying for that first spot. And I'm alone in thinking that. But, that's my opinion.
They were 82-80 last year. Do you think their record will be better?
Yes.
Randy, what do you think?
I'm just floating through. I mean, they were. I think I'm going to tell you right now. I think 82-80. I think they overachieved last year. I don't think they do any better than they are. I think they overachieved last year. They don't have pitching wise. I'm not impressed. Harrison Bader. I mean, he's a nice kid. We watched him with the Yankees. Watched him with the Mets. Saw him with St. Louis. I mean, the kid's got some hops, but there's these ball players. I mean, the only guy on the team that I mean, obviously can play ball, but he's a suspect to getting injured is Carlos Correa.
Same with Buxton.
And same with Buxton, and both of them are quality ball players. Does Harrison Bader help that baseball team? I'd venture to say I'm not so sure he does. I think he can be a quality pickup, and no one, unless someone emerges in their pitching staff, what's going to get.
Well, Pablo Lopez is their ace.
Yeah,
and
Pablo Lopez is a good pitcher.
Yeah, I really like Pablo Lopez.
Joe Ryan, 2 years ago, the guy was on fire. So
I guess this Chris Paddock has got some potential. Carlos was Pablo was 15-10 last year. Did drop 4 runs a game. That's nothing. But yeah, he's 1 year after. 1 year does can do you good. This Paddock guy, I was reading a little bit about him. He's like he had a good outing yesterday or whatever in in his spring training here. Look at his numbers. He was 5-3 last year. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be a starter. Did you have him down listed as a starter?
Paddock?
Yeah.
For Fangraphs, it's saying he's the projected 5-starter.
5-star, yeah. So outside of Pablo Lopez, who was the other person that you mentioned?
Joe Ryan.
Joe Ryan.
Joe Ryan?
He had a great year 2 years ago. But,
yeah,
if he could bounce back.
Yeah, he was a 500 pitcher last year, but he was 500 pitcher with 135 innings pitched, but 7-7. But he's 3.60. I like to look at ERA. If you got anybody under 4, that's helpful.
Yeah. It's all a matter of think it's.
I think the over teams
very injury prone. Injury prone. Buxton's injury prone. Royce Lewis injury prone. He has to put some together a healthy season. Ty France, he could have a really good year again. He had a great year a couple of years ago. So I think they've got potential to, if they can keep healthy, you're talking about a team that can go for a division. If they can't stay healthy, they're going to probably be right around that 500 mark.
That is their number one concern is health between Correa, Buxton, and Lewis. And I'm just looking
Pops,
here.
Pops, you got harping on your deal about them possibly division. There's only 10 games. They were 10.5 out when they finished, and the other two teams were 6.5 out. I'm going to tell you right now, from 1 to 4, Chicago, no questions asked, the bottom. There could be a crapshoot with those 4 teams. You might be right about Minnesota. They have as good a chance, only being 10 wins away. The only thing is, I don't see that they win and got that 10-game winner, that 15-game winner to give them those 10 games. I don't see
healthy seasons out of Correa, Buxton, and Lewis.
Oh,
they could definitely win the division.
Yeah, right. You're right. You could be.
And I'm just looking here. Something interesting. For Correa, Buxton, and Lewis, 2022 draft. Correa was 1st overall. Buxton, 2nd overall. And for Royce Lewis, he was drafted in 2017 at the number 1 overall pick.
But you're saying Carlos Correa was drafted in 2022 or 2012?
2012. Sorry.
2012. Thank you. Okay, that's what I thought. 2012.
Yeah,
good.
2012. Sorry. Correa and Buxton went back to back in the 2012 draft, and then 1st and 2nd, and then Royce Lewis went 1st overall in 2017.
Has Buxton been with Minnesota all the time? Because I know Correa was Houston, right?
Yeah, Correa was Houston.
Yeah.
And out of their projected starting lineup, let's see, quick math. 6 out of 9 guys were 1st-round picks.
Senior, you might have a good call there.
We've seen Buxton play quite a bit.
I just don't know where to put. Yeah.
We've seen Buxton play quite a bit, and when that guy is on, he is on. But man, what was the crazy thing that we saw him do?
Stole 3rd and home on the same play.
Yeah, that's right. Stole 3rd and home on the same play. Yeah, the guy's got tremendous speed, a little bit of pop. Yeah. I don't know. I could see them fighting for the division.
As I went to see who won the division, Cleveland 92-69.
Nice.
There's only 10 games right there. And maybe you don't need a pitcher, you need his health. You need a couple of pitchers that you already have that show up.
Yeah.
That have that kind of year that gets them. I'm going to tell you right now, what I'm going to do is I'm not even slotting the Twins in the 4th spot yet.
No.
I'm just leaving 4, 3, 2, and 1 open. And after we're done with the Tigers and the Royals and the Guardians, I don't have a warm fuzzy that the Twins are not going to no longer going to make it. I think I think they had a nice 82-80 season last year. I don't remember what their 2023 season was like. Maybe did they win the division in 2023?
I can look real quick.
Yeah.
2023, the Minnesota Twins. Let me see. 2023, the Minnesota Twins won their division.
Yeah. Okay. So,
at 87-75, and the team closest to them were the Tigers at 78-84 in 2023.
Right, and they didn't have their Cy Young specialist yet. Or was that his first year?
That might have been his first year. 2024 was his breakout year, though.
His breakout, but his first year. But we knew in his first year that this was something special there, and then he put the whole package together last year. Yeah, let's. I'm not going to give you a prediction on Minnesota. I can't yet because I just want to see what Detroit and Kansas City and the Guardians did, because if they didn't really outside improve themselves, which I don't know, you got to read me the numbers and I'll know. So I'm leaving it open. I'm not even going to predict how many wins, because at 82 last year, I may be just saying, that may be all they're going to get again this year. But that you got something there to work with, Senior. That's a possibility.
Do you think, not necessarily giving me a number, but do you think the Twins' record will be better or worse next season?
I'm going to give them 87 and 75. I'm going to throw that number out right now.
I don't
know where it'll land in the division. 87 and 75. I give them five more wins.
I think they will be better as well. And you said 87?
87 and 75, which basically is what they won the division a couple years ago. Because the Guardians could fall off, the Royals could get better, but who knows?
Fun fact: ChatGPT gives the Twins between 85 and 90. So you're right in the middle there.
Well, right. 90 wins could win them the division, because 92 won it for the Guardians. All those teams, those four teams are going to beat up each other. They're all going to get their wins against the White Sox, but they're going to beat each other up.
Yeah. Alrighty. So,
right.
What's there? Detroit. Detroit is next on the list. They had a pretty good offseason. Their only subtraction was Alex Fideo in a trade with Tampa, and they acquired Andrew Chafin on a minor league deal, Jose Urquidy, John Brebbia, Tommy Kahnle, Alex Cobb, Gleyber Torres, and after trading Jack Flaherty at the deadline last year, they signed him to a 2-year deal in this offseason. And if you remember correctly, after they traded Flaherty is when they got hot last year. And now they're going to have Flaherty for the remainder of the year. It looks like, unless they just get off to a horrible start, they might trade him again. Who knows?
That pitching, I mean, Skubal had a 2.39 ERA last year.
Sick. That's sick today.
I mean, just looking at their ERAs, Skubal with a 2.39, Flaherty 3.17, Reese Olson 3.53, and you got Casey Mize, who I'm sure may have a better year this year, 4.49. I don't know much as Jackson Joby that they got. If I'm saying that right. If he only pitched 4 innings last year. He's projected 5th starter. And who knows if they might add somebody. Their lineup, I don't know. Maybe not. That's why I'm thinking that they're going to be neck and neck with Minnesota vying for that first position. But they have what seems to be some pretty good pitching, and pitching wins.
Yes, pitching wins. Speaking of Skubal, he won the Triple Crown last year for pitching.
Right. ERA wins and strikeouts, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And
they're loaded. They're loaded here, guys. I'm pitching. They've got some pitchers here. This is going to be interesting.
Yes, and
Alex Cobb is still on pitching for them, right?
Alex Cobb.
Or did he go?
I believe they signed him. Let me see. I think they just signed him. Yeah, they just signed him on a 1-year deal.
What's FanDuel got them for their 5 pitching?
All right.
Want to run that? That'll really be an interesting list, because they're looking at all the matrix with their guys that they put in play there.
Yeah. So
listen to this pitching staff.
Well, let me first do the lineup here. Their lineup is projected to be Trey Sweeney, Riley Green, Gleyber Torres, Kerry Carpenter, Colt Keith, Spencer Torkelson, Wensiel Perez, Jace Jung, and Jake Rogers.
5.
with
Javier Baez.
Javier Baez being on the bench, even though he's making $20+ million a year for them.
Ridiculous, yeah. He's the same type of head case they just picked up. You're gonna laugh this off. You know what I'm talking about. Gleyber Torres.
Yeah.
Gleyber's a head case now. Now a change in scenery might make the Yankees wish they never got rid of him. But that was an untouchable for the Yankees for years after they got him in the missile trade for Aroldis Chapman with the Chicago Cubs. Everybody wanted Gleyber Torres, but I think he just warmed up. I liked him a lot, but it felt like it was just warmed out his welcome. It just was enough is enough, and they just weren't not going to go any forward with him. And that could be something that converted. But now I'm looking.
I will miss celebrating Labor Day.
Labor Day, yeah.
You guys are idiots.
Show me the picture. No. You don't understand how that hurts. Hey, listen. You all don't have any days over there in Boston, do you? I don't think so.
We don't have any days, but we'll just be celebrating when Bregman hits homers over the monster with Devers. Going back to alrighty. So
pitching. Read the top five. Their top five starters. This is going to be interesting.
Projected rotation to start out the year is Tarek Skubal, Jack Flaherty, Reese Olson, Casey Mize, Kenta Maeda. And a couple of bullpen arms to mention is Jason Foley, Tommy Canley, Andrew Chafin. And just as a reminder, they also have Alex Cobb, Matt Vierling, and Parker Meadows, but they are injured.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think about this Jackson Joby guy?
Top prospect, probably will make his debut within the first couple of months. I don't know anything about him besides he's
22 years old. He was the number 3 pick overall in 2021. I don't know, they're expecting him to make the starting rotation pretty early on in the season.
Fangraphs has him pitching over 100 innings this year.
Yeah.
He could comfortably fit into that third or fourth spot in the rotation. He doesn't have to be he knows he's a number 1. He doesn't have the pressure. Nothing. There's no pressure in Detroit. You got Scoville running the show. Flaherty behind him. I'm going to tell you that now that I look, I was curious about Detroit, and now I'm getting some vibes here with Detroit.
Alrighty. So
how's those vibes feeling for the Kansas City Royals?
Well, first before we go there,
we hadn't touched them yet. That's why. Are Detroit going to be better their 86 games?
Yeah,
think, Alex?
No. I think they do worse next year.
Really?
I love the rotation. The lineup does nothing for me.
No, I know. That's
yeah.
You put that lineup against the Minnesota Twins lineup. Yeah. But pitching.
4 batters of name that I see with Detroit. Could Gleyber be the punch kick that gives him something? The guy's capable of hitting 35 home runs in a year.
But he just moved to a pitcher-friendly park, not a hitter-friendly park.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, I think they do worse. What about you guys?
I think they'll be right there. They're going to be hunting for the first.
They're going to be fighting for the division.
Yeah, with that pitching, I think. You say that, but now I'm looking at some of these other lineups that they're going to be facing. I was thinking that
Flaherty's only going to be worth 4 more wins, Alex. I think they win 95 games this year. They're going to up their number by they're going to up their 86 to 95. I think Flaherty's going to be worth that.
I think they're going to.
Flaherty's got to get 10.
They'll be in a lot of games, but I don't know if their hitters will be able to push them up. I think they could do. I don't know about winning more than they did last year. They'll be in the fight.
They'll be in the fight.
They'll be in the fight, but at the end of the fight, I think they're going to be closer to a 500. Just that lineup doesn't do anything for me. I know Gleyber's in it, but
10 games over 500 last year. I don't know. I feel like Flaherty comes with a boatload of experience back to the Tigers.
They did better after they traded him, though.
Yeah.
So I think he helps them, but I think Flaherty is going to help whatever team he's on.
Yeah.
I just think that the lineup doesn't have enough to improve their record from
Their
the previous
lineup,
year.
right?
Yeah, I see what you
Their
said.
lineup.
I agree.
So
Their
you think they're
lineup
going to be
hasn't
worse
changed.
too, sir?
Well, maybe around the same, maybe slightly worse. Only because their lineup is better to have that. Because when you start to look at the next team above them, they got both. They got great pitching, great hitting, and they're going to face each other quite a bit. And yeah,
86 and 76 last year. I shot off my mouth at 95 wins because I just feel like the pitching is going to go. I'll regroup and I'm going to throw they're going to be 90 and 72 next year.
A 91 team.
That puts
Okay.
them right now in third place. Yep, 90 and 72 for the Tigers. That's my prediction. 90 and 72 that they're going to pick up that they'll be play like Senior says, they will be fighting for the division. And if they're able to put 90 wins on the board, they might have a 95 win year. Who knows? Depends who comes to play.
Just to let you know, ChatGPT 84 wins.
so
You guys are in the ballpark then.
I was thinking around 80. That's interesting.
All right. So the next team.
Could win the division.
Yes, it very well
85 win
could.
the division.
85 could win
That's
this division.
Right.
Alrighty.
That-
Next team is also 86 and 76. That would be the
Right.
Kansas City Royals. Holding out for the Royals.
Yeah.
I like
So-
this Kansas City Royal team to actually take.
I might agree with you. It won't take much to convince me, but I might agree with you. Anyways, so what did they do this offseason? They lost Robbie Grossman, Will Smith, Adam Frazier, Tommy Pham, Paul DeYoung, Yuli Gurriel, and Brady Singer. But Brady Singer brought in Jonathan India and Joey Weimer. And they also got, not in this trade, but they also got Carlos Estevez, and they re-signed Michael Lorenzen to a 1-year deal. Now their lineup is projected to be Jonathan India, Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, Salvador Perez, Michael Massey, Hunter Renfroe, MJ Melendez, Michael Garcia, and Kyle Isabel. And their starting rotation is projected to be Cole Reagans, Seth Lugo,
Right.
Michael
Seth
Wacha,
Lugo.
Michael Lorenzen, Chris Bubich. And bullpen arms, we'll give them Carlos Estevez and Lucas Urseg. I like this team a lot more than Detroit. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, they got a bit of punch on their bats. I don't know about Salvador Perez. I can't believe he's still doing what he's doing at his age. But I guess ride the lightning and see how far you can get with him. He might need some help, though.
I think, this has him projected at catcher. I think he's going to be... I don't think he won't catch games, but I think he'll be more of like a platoon of catch and DH.
Yeah.
Which means Freddie Fermin would get some playing time. I don't think Salvador is going to be the everyday catcher. He'll be in the lineup every day, but I don't think he'll catch every day.
Then he'll be catching.
Or DH.
But their ERA pitchers, oh goodness, 3.14 Cole Reagans, 3.0 for Seth Lugo, 3.5 Michael Walker. What a bounce back here.
Yeah.
3.3 Michael Lorenzen, a great job keeping him and signing him to that extension. And then this kid Bubich, he didn't pitch much last year, but when he did, 2.67 ERA. So and just that first few hitters, I see this as a team that will probably win the division over Cleveland.
Yeah, they're having a relatively good 10-6 during the Grateful League now standings. They're obviously, we know they're going to fight. They're going to fight for the deal. I think they have the potential of being that that 95 victories. They got some good pitching guys. Seth Lugo's got a new pitch he's unveiled. It's going to be interesting. They've got they talk about it's going to be interesting. This India fella looks like this could be he has a breakout season. Pascantino we know can play ball.
Yeah,
Seth Lugo's a former Met.
Good ball
Never
player.
wanted. Yeah, good ball player. We know Bobby Witt can tear it up. Is that guy going? That guy was fiddling last year with. He was the hitting. He got the batting title. If it wasn't for Judge's massive home runs, he might have been right there with the Triple Crown. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting.
What say you,
Alex?
He's
changed some pitch grip.
They have the potential. Well, like all four of these teams, besides the White Sox, they have the opportunity to win the division. I like them. I like this team more than the Twins and the Tigers. I think they do better than they did last year at 86 and 76. I think they do better. I think they're a 90-win team, at least. Randy, what do you think?
95 and 67, top of the league. They win the division.
Okay.
Cleveland Guardians.
The Guardians.
The Guardians have been knocking. The Guardians have been knocking for several years, and I don't think they got any better. But we'll see. We'll talk about it. But I got Kansas City sitting at 95 and 67.
So the Guardians. Oh, just to mention, the Royals, ChatGPT 83, and I think that's low. I think that's really low. Well, it says that BetMGM indicates blah blah blah. So according to BetMGM, it's 82.5, so 83 wins.
Wow!
If I had a sports book, I may sprinkle.
They got literally the whole division so far at 500 practically. Outside of Chicago, yeah.
Alrighty,
Kansas City winning it.
Yeah, you are probably not wrong. But the Guardians, they had an active offseason. They lost Matthew Boyd, Alex Cobb, Andres Jimenez, Nick Sandlin, Eli Morgan, Josh Naylor, and Miles Straw. And they brought in re-signed Austin Hedges, re-signed Shane Bieber. Carlos Santana comes back after many years of not being with the team. They signed Paul Sewald, John Means, Jacob Junis, and they traded for Luis L. Ortiz and Slade Ciconi. I'm gonna say that's what that name says. Just off that list alone, I feel like their roster got worse.
Yep. Yeah. Shoot the pitchers at us.
All right.
They
lineup.
Their team with a guy that's been there, Josh Naylor, letting him go, I think was huge.
Yep. They broke apart the brother duo that they had. They had both Bo and Josh Naylor. Yeah. Now they're just left with Bo. So their lineup is Stephen Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Kyle Manzardo, Carlos Santana, Lane Thomas, Will Brennan, Bo Naylor, Gabriel Arias, and Brian Rocchio. And their projected rotation to start the year is Tanner Bybee, Ben Lively, Gavin Williams, Luis Ortiz, and Tristan McKenzie. But do remember that they have Shane Bieber and John Means, but they are both injured at the moment. They also have David Fry for the lineup, but he is injured as well. And then a couple of bullpen arms to name, Emmanuel Clase and Paul Sewald.
That's closer.
Yeah. Closing don't do you any good if you ain't get no pitchers giving you the 6 innings and your helpers in the middle. Their pitching staff does nothing for me basically when I look at there's nobody that just catches an eye. Pardon?
That's a decent starters. I mean, Tanner Bybee watching him come into the league, he was great, and he hasn't slowed down. He's only gotten better. I don't know that number wise, but I'm just looking at his 3.47 ERA.
12 and 8 last year. That's a good call. 12 and 8.
Ben Lively's got a good ERA going in. Luis Ortiz pitched 135 innings with a 3.32 ERA. Now Tristan McKenzie, you remember? I don't know if you remember that kid when he came up. I mean, that was a kid that was projected to be a possible Cy Young contender, and he blew out his arm.
Yeah.
So looking at a
You're right.
5.11
That's
ERA,
right.
I don't expect him to be throwing 5.11 this year. 5.11 ERA. He should be better this year, coming back from his surgery that he had a couple of years ago. I think this year will be a good year for him. So then, that potential there. Their starting lineup, I don't know. I see them missing the playoffs this year.
I do. I think Tanner Bybee seems to be what looks to me is to be their ace with 12-8. Tristan was 3-5 last year, but he was coming off, and he's kind of been bombed already this year. Then again, what pitcher hasn't got bombed in there? But I'm just trying. Paul Sewald is a good pickup. I like him. I think everywhere he's gone, he's done pretty well. If I'm not mistaken, he's the Paul Sewald that I think that was on the Arizona Wranglers. Yeah, he was Wranglers. Jeepers. I'm thinking
there, Charger.
a little football league. No, I'm thinking USFL. Arizona Diamondbacks. He was there with that year, and he was a former Met. He's a good player. I like him. He's a good middle guy and potential closer. But you're right. I don't see Cleveland. I see. Well, now that I can shift around, I don't see Cleveland winning 92 games next year.
I don't either. I think they do worse next year. Personally,
I think they're 82-82, and they find themselves in fourth place. But they're capable. They're capable because there's no big, huge margins between those four teams.
right?
If anything, Kansas City, because they're pretty young, and I think they kind of touched it last year, but Cleveland was able to, and I think Cleveland didn't. I think you're right, Alex. Cleveland did not really improve themselves. If anything, they got hurt with the players they let go of.
Right. I agree with that. I think they do worse. Sir, what do you think? Better or worse next year, Cleveland Guardians?
Definitely, they're not going to have the same. Yeah, they're going to do a little bit worse. And like I said, I think they'll miss the playoffs.
I don't know about miss the playoffs. I want to look at the other divisions, and because we still haven't gone over the AL East. So I do want to see the other divisions before I say they miss the playoffs entirely. But I do think they will have a worse year, and I don't think they'll win the division. So
no, I don't think so either.
Are we ready to give our predictions for 5 through 1? I think we could all agree.
I'm good.
Chicago's number 5, right?
That's a bingo.
All right. Well, Randy, who do you have at 4?
I got the Indians at 4.
1 to 4. Okay. Okay, Sarah, what do you got?
Lost a lot.
Said Indians. Wow. Okay. Let's see. I think that Indians 4.
I'm going to disagree
they lost too
with
much,
you.
Alex. They lost too much.
I agree that they lost a lot, but I don't think they finished 4th. I have Detroit at 4.
Wow. Okay.
I love Detroit's pitching. They don't have a lineup to compete. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just don't think they have the lineup. What about 3 for you guys? Who do you got?
Minnesota.
Randy?
I got the Twins at 3.
Twins at 3?
Randy and I have been deadlocked, dead end, agreeing on all.
Yeah. I'm going to put Cleveland at 3.
Okay.
Cleveland at 3. And then for 2, who do you guys have?
Detroit.
You guys have to stop this. You're texting. I know you're texting.
No, I mean, no, we're not. And I decided I wanted to write down. I've never done this before, but I want to write down the victories. I want to predict their one loss. So I've got it written down for my.
Well, for 2, I have Minnesota.
Okay, I can see that too.
I mean, you're not far off. We're not far off with you.
Which means we all think the Royals are going to win the division.
We're all holding out for the Royals.
We're all holding out for the Royals. Wow. I did not think we were all going to come to a consensus on the Royals being number 1.
Yeah. Well, we're not doing any Yankee dance. I still got you.
We still got you.
All right. Well, with that, we should probably wrap it up then. But
yep, we agree on 1 and 5.
We agree on 1 and 5. The rest is a jumbled mess.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been the Grounds Crew. Please like, comment, subscribe. We are here on the YouTube. If you're watching us, if you're listening, you are listening through either Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And we are also on Instagram and TikTok. So please like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. Send your questions to us, and have a good one.
Bye.